the interesting thing about what's happening with the Knicks now is it really that dissimilar with I think on some levels is a parallel, the New York Rangers. Rangers have won 5 straight. Shesterkin's back in the pipes. He's won 2 straight. Okay. Now, before that, you go back to mid-January, the Rangers had lost 4 or 5, and their star goalie he had the worst save percentage in January.
Right.
They had injuries. They were playing poorly. Shesterkin got benched. And now look at the Rangers. I'm not saying they're going to win the Cup, but they're obviously a very, very good team. And if they get a little lucky in the right matchups and Shesterkin is back to being Shesterkin, they got a puncher's chance. I say this because, first of all, I don't agree with Sal. And that's very different from getting on the air and saying the Knicks are the favorites to win the championship, start booking, NBA Finals tickets. No, nobody's saying that. But I think you've got to react to a couple of things. Number one, what's happening literally with the Knicks, and it ain't good. You know about Randall, you know about OG. Hartenstein's been out as well.
Right.
DiVincenzo with his hamstring, and even Bogdanovich, who just got here, didn't play last night with a calf strain. So
it's ridiculous at this point with all that.
I've never seen anything like this. Right. I really haven't, and that's not hyperbole. I've never seen this where every one of their best players is out. Any team that I've ever watched or rooted for or covered, I don't think I've ever seen this. So that's the Knicks stuff. And it's a little depressing. And if it's not depressing, it's absolutely deflating. Because there was a minute not too long ago, we're sitting here saying, Knicks going to win 53? 54?
It built up to a point where they were the team in the league to watch.
Yes.
They were must watch, and then boom, it just the bubble burst.
But the bubble burst for things you can't control, and the bubble if the bubble burst because, we had a team and we were excited because they've given us so little, this century for the most part, and we overstated or overinflated who they were. And then they played the Celtics fully healthy, and they lost by 19. And then, they played the Bucks, maybe at home, and they lost by 12. And it was like a reminder to us, a sobering reminder. It was fun, but they're more of a mid-team. No, that's not the case. The bottom line is this. Knicks got screwed. We got some bad luck.
But that's part of it.
I understand that, but it's not permanent. It's temporary. All these guys are coming back. They're all coming back.
That's fine, but the combination of what has gone on plus the lack of superpower move at the trade deadline.
See, that's where you and I absolutely fundamentally disagree. That doesn't worry me at all.
Like even going in before the injuries happen, it was like to say the Knicks were a championship team was a stretch. Now, we got caught up in the hype, and you want to believe it. And, hey, why put a ceiling, right? We talked about that. Why put a ceiling on a player or why put a ceiling on this team? Anything is possible. On any given night, they could be as good as anybody else. However, it's not just one game. It's the best of 7 series, and they weren't good enough then. Then the injuries happened. Then the trade deadline happened. They're not good enough now. Now, I don't think that I'm saying anything that's crazy here.
No, I don't think you are either. I'm just disagreeing. But it's not nuts.
But like the reality is, and I guess what happened to me personally was with the bubble bursting, right? All that great energy, all the hype, all the excitement, poof, bubble burst, and then I get to the point where, not that this is what the team's going to be, but the reality is, you know what? They were never a championship team anyway.
But again, keep in mind, there's the Knicks reality, which is almost unfair at this point. But then there's the reality, you've got to incorporate this, of what's going around the rest of the Eastern Conference. I got news for everybody. There's 2 teams playing well right now. The Boston Celtics have, I think, won 9 of 10. And the Cavaliers are red hot.
Celtics are on a different level.
No, they are. But just to give you an overall state of the conference, the Bucks have lost 6 of 10. Since Doc's gotten there, their defense has always been deplorable. They're not winning now. Philly's lost 7 of 10. The Pacers have won just 5 of their past 10. So I understand that this is not optimal, but I'm going to tell you.
Well,
in a lot of ways, while you don't want this to happen, to stifle the momentum and the enthusiasm, Knicks were taking over the city, and it does stink that it's been temporarily thwarted. But it will be restored, and it will be restored in a big way, because the only thing that I worry about with this team, not to the point where I go after the coach like some other people do, but the minutes is an issue. In a weird way, this is actually a gift, because it is forcing the Knicks' best players to unplug, get healthy, regenerate, and be fresh for the run.
Fine. But again, my issue here, saying that they're not a championship team or they can't win a championship, really doesn't even have that much to do with the injuries, because I do, it's not a season ender for Randall or for Anunoby. They'll get healthy and we'll see what they can do. My issue is that I don't think that they're good enough to win it all. Like, let's say Embiid comes back for the Sixers. And let's say because the Knicks can't get healthy enough for the majority of the rest of the regular season that they end up with the 4 or 5 seed.
By the way, they're in the 4th spot right now, for those who don't know. Go ahead.
And they match up with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like if it ended today, 4-5 matchup. Would
Flip
be
a coin. I like the Knicks' chance. Let's go.
Well, but now you're talking about Philadelphia with Embiid.
Okay.
Like that. Okay.
Did Embiid play last time the Knicks went down there and beat them by 20?
Flip a coin in round 1. Now remember, not to keep bringing up the 90s, but in the 90s, round 1 was never a flip of the coin. Round 1 was like. It was like scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like,
you show up and you mop the floor with somebody.
The
No,
Cavs, the Hornets, whoever. Let's
yeah.
move on to the real
That series
team.
is tough. That one series, 93, whatever it was, something like that.
Let's move on to the real playoffs now, where you get the Pacers, the Heat, the Bulls, whatever. So it's going to be a battle.
It's a gauntlet.
Even in the first round. Let's say they do get by the Philadelphia 76ers. Can they beat the Celtics, the Cavs?
Well, the Celtics are better, and I understand that.
And that's what I mean. So, like, the reality is, while we want to get caught up in the hype, and while I believe Brunson is a superstar and Randall can be the second best player on the championship team and do love the other pieces, I think they needed one more piece, not a major piece, but one more legit piece as opposed to Bogdanovich and Burks, who are, they're like fillers on the bench. They needed one more piece for me to think that they were a championship team. They didn't get it. And then the injuries, and then the realization of, you know what, they're just not that good anyway, or as far as the top teams in the league.
When was the last time you put together a puzzle? Probably not in a while because your daughter's only 2.
Oh, no, we actually did one the other day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Count.
Oh, what was it?
The Count from Sesame Street.
Oh, I love the Count. Yeah, Count was good. All right, so is it like, 7, 8, 9 pieces because she's only 2? It's not like 1,000, which is incredibly daunting, right? All right, so like some of these museums have these puzzles, whether it's, something and like the I don't know, the lions in Africa, which is great. I mean, we have a few of them, National Geographic, right? So you sit down, and when you disperse all the pieces around, it's daunting. It's like it's not going to fit. Where do you start? And right now, the Knicks feel like a puzzle that's not going to fit. But then get a little deeper into putting the puzzle together. And now things start, you can actually see it visually coming. Oh, that slips in there. This is perfect. Wow, here we go. Oh, nice. I'm telling everybody. I'm not saying they're going to win the champion. That's not about some crazy bold declaration in the middle of February. I'm looking at these pieces, and I have no doubt that they're going to fit. They got a superstar. They got a terrific coach. They got another all-star. They got shooters. They got depth. They got size. And they got stones. I love this team.
Right.
It's tough now.
I
get it. Don't overreact to what has been maybe the most unfair set of cards any team we've watched for a while has been dealt. They've been dealt tough. This ain't right.
I'm not going to disagree with all you just said. I don't think they can win a championship.
All right, we disagree.
That's the difference. So you're saying you think this Knicks team can win a championship?
Yes, I do. I've said that for a while.
Not Eastern Conference championship, win it all.
No, absolutely. Represent the Eastern Conference, get to the West, take on Denver, take on whomever, the Clippers, whatever, Minnesota, and let's go. And again, they're not going to be the favorites. I get that.
No, I know.
Last year, did I think they could win it? No. Even though I was hoping for it.
I think it comes down to,
I do.
It's not about predicting whether they will or won't, but thinking that they could.
Are meaningless at this point.
So the way that we do it would be, like we talk about this with Mets and Yankees, like the Mets max out, in my mind, like 85. Yankees max out at maybe 100, one team, whatever it may be. Knicks, to me, max out at an Eastern Conference Finals appearance this year. You're saying they max out at a potential championship.
I'll put no limits on what these Knicks can do. I love them.
BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire, remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Tim is calling from Northport. What's up, Timmy?
Hey, I agree with BT. I think that the Knicks, if they get healthy, they're a runaway from being a championship team. If they get hot at the end and everybody stays healthy, it's going to be like putting those pieces to the puzzle back together. I think it's very similar with the Rangers, too. But I think the Rangers are one piece away still.
I think the Rangers, I differ. I think the Rangers can win a championship because they have the pieces to me to be a championship team. Now, will they? It's a different story, but I think they can. I don't think the Knicks have enough.
You don't think the Rangers need one more piece?
There's also still the trade deadline. I look at it where, the Rangers need to fine-tune a little bit here. Knicks trade deadline is come and gone, but the Rangers have the main piece in Shesterkin. They need to get him going. So I believe they can win a championship. Now, after the deadline, if they don't make the right moves, maybe my opinion changes. As of right now, I believe it's open for them. I do not believe that's the case for the Knicks.
Yeah, and I think Shesterkin is getting hot. I would like to see him maybe unload Kako and Jones and try and get Tom Wilson.
Well, what about the Knicks?
The Knicks, if everyone gets healthy and they get hot, I don't see how they can't win.
I mean, think about this, Tim, and thanks for the call. Listen, there's not much in between for us. You think about our plight for many of our teams in this city, which is grossly overstated. And we've said this a million times. Mets give you nothing. Jets give us nothing. Knicks for the last century have given us nothing more than that. And once in 73.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. The Rangers haven't won since 94. The Islanders haven't won since the almost the mid-'80s. The Devils are a very well-run franchise with a smaller fan base out of respect. But, I mean, come on. We're not sitting here, championship, where everybody's just busting out these championships. So I say that because when we get the first sign of improvement or
right, we go
excitement,
nuts.
we go a little nuts.
That's what happened with the Knicks.
Yes, but we also subscribe to the converse. Unintentionally, we can't help it. The first time something goes awry, that's it. We're
Agreed.
done. The sky's falling. We've got the team's not good enough. Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? The guy that we think is a superstar is not good enough to get us where we got to go. I'm telling everybody right now, however you feel right now, scrap it. Forget about it and put it to the side and visualize again what this team was 3 weeks ago. Randall abusing people. Brunson, a top 10 player.
Anunoby,
Hartenstein finding shooters everywhere.
But can't it be somewhere in between? Because I think I think you're right. We get overly excited and emotional when things are going well. We get overly negative and down when things are going poorly. That's why, to me, once that bubble burst, it wasn't, this team sucks and they're not going to get out of the first round. It was just a wake-up call and realization that they're not a championship team yet. However, it doesn't mean that things are bad for the franchise. Obviously, you can't be in a better spot than the Knicks are right now, with still the potential to add another big player in the offseason, with a puncher's chance this year to do some damage in the Eastern Conference. I just look at it like, where if you ask me what the Yankees' ceiling is this season, even though I don't believe they're going to get to a World Series and win one, their ceiling is absolutely World Series win. Not just appearance, World Series win.
Okay.
The Mets' ceiling is postseason, right? Maybe they win a round in the postseason. That's their, max. The Jets, maybe they win a playoff game. Giants get to the playoffs, maybe win a play. Those are max things. The Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think that's not
That's not a bad thing. To me, the teams with the three teams with the highest ceilings, I would say the Yankees, I would say the Rangers, and I would say the New York Knicks. Now, before we get back to these calls here, and I hear you, and I think some people will agree with you, but if you don't think the Knicks can win a championship, you're saying that you don't think that they can get to the NBA Finals. Because you can't win if you don't get to the NBA Finals.
Right. I don't think that they will.
Understood. So now let me push back and ask you directly, what teams in the East can the Knicks not beat? Because that's where I go.
In the best of seven?
In the best, that they just don't have the horses.
The Celtics.
See,
for sure
I
they're not beating the
disagree.
Celtics. They can't. Come on.
What do you mean, come on? Tatum's going to be stifled by Anunoby.
I mean, come on.
No. When I say stifled, Sal. I don't mean he's going to average 12.5 points per game. Right. He's going to have to work for it, which means he's going to be a little tired in the fourth quarter. I don't love the Celtics' depth. I think their depth is not good. The top of the roster is very good. I don't even know if I love their coach. I don't trust their coach to win a championship. So I look at the Celtics, and yes, they would be prohibitive favorites to beat the Knicks. Knicks, Celtics, 7-game series, Celtics home court. Celtics minus 180.
But you're saying it could happen.
I'm saying they can absolutely be beaten. What's so good about is McHale playing? Is Parrish playing? Is Garnett playing?
What about the Cavs?
Is Paul Pierce playing? Well, I mean, the Cavaliers are really playing well. I'm worried about them. I respect them. And I do think the team that the Knicks beat last year is different because the young bigs that the Knicks feasted on, they're not in diapers anymore.
Here's the other aspect of this. As I want you're kind of pumping me up and getting me sucked back in.
Well, I mean, I believe this. I honestly believe it.
And I don't. And I got to get level-headed and not be emotional here. Here's the other aspect of it. While I believe Randall is going to actually have a good postseason, the fact that he had a significant injury, that's like here we go again. And he's still got to prove it. Randall's got to prove it in the postseason. Brunson has to prove that he can carry a team through multiple rounds in the postseason. Tibbs has to prove it in the postseason. This group has to gel and come together prior to and then in the postseason. There are a lot of variables here, which to me lean toward beating the top teams in even the Eastern Conference. Tino is on Staten Island. What's up, Tino?
What's up, boys? You guys are the best in the business. First, I want to start off by saying that I love talking to you guys when I get on with you guys.
Thank you.
And I love when you guys talk Knicks. I love when you guys talk Knicks basketball because it's the New York City resembles Knicks basketball. It's the best sport in the world by all means. You know, BT, I love basketball. I'm just like you. It's when the Knicks are good, the city's good.
Yep.
Now. Back to talking to the Knicks. BT, I'm totally with you because I look at the Knicks' top 10 guys on the roster. And if you compare our roster to Boston's roster, Boston's depth is atrocious after the first 5. Our bench is much better than theirs. But you know how the playoffs go. The top 5 guys are going to play 40 minutes. Each guy's going to play 40 minutes. So there's not much wiggle room when it comes to the bench guys. So my question is, with our guys that we have coming off the bench, like Josh Hart, you're going to have Hartenstein because Mitch is going to be back. Mm-hmm. You're going to have Burks and Bogdanovic.
Yep.
We can't play everybody. The minutes, you can't play more than 9-10 guys in the playoffs. Usually gets deducted to 8. Who do you see not playing? I honestly, BT, I don't like Burks. He's so trigger happy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tino. Those guys, we talked about this last week. Those guys are going to have to make a decision. We talked about whether it would be who we say Achiuwa. Oh no, Hart may be losing some minutes.
Hart would. I like Achiuwa in certain matchups.
He's done a nice job here.
But Tibbs loves Hart. I can't see Hart playing less than 30 minutes now.
No, he's not playing 30 minutes, team. Thanks for the call there, buddy. And listen, if everybody's healthy, Josh Hart's not playing 30 minutes regularly in the playoffs unless he's red hot or somebody twists an ankle. That's not going to happen.
He can't score. I like him, too. He can't score.
The guy, I'll tell you, and it really hit me watching it last night, and I was more excited about Bogdanovic. I understood the Burks move. He's a pro, familiarity, plug him back in. He's not going to play much.
Who?
Burks.
I told you, dude.
No, he's not going to play much when it matters. I watched him again. I'm like, I
told you.
Well, no. I'm
not saying you. I'm getting my frustrations out because
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it because I watched him and Burks. What do you like about Burks? He drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I remember watching him. He did some good, but did a lot of bad too. He drives me nuts. He's not a championship player.
I'm not huge, and my point being, I'm not a huge fan. I think that he's gonna probably play diminished minutes. Again, I don't want to get too nerdy here. It's all matchup specific. Who's back? Who's got foul issues? Blah, blah, blah.
Point is, they get healthy. They have a deep team, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But some of those guys, the new faces, minutes are going to be lost.
There's 2 items here. Yes, that's the way it goes. 2 items that they've got to juggle. Number 1, they've got to distribute the minutes and properly allocate roles, and that's up to Thibs. And number 2, when everybody's healthy, they've got to gain chemistry fast.
Right.
And that's tough, and I admit that.
And
I got you.
These are part of my issues saying that the Knicks cannot, in fact, win a championship, unfortunately, this year. BT and Sal on the Fan. More of your calls on the other side.